Good morning students. Today we are going to see unit 20 organ system in animal. In the same unit last video we saw digestive system. The same topic today we will continue. Last video we saw till stomach. This video will start small intestine. Small intestine is the longest part, about 5 to 7 meter, coil like structure. It has three parts. One is duodenum, another one is jejunum and ileum. Small intestine is the longest part of alimentary canal, which is long coiled tube measuring about 5 to 7 meter. It comprises three parts: duodenum, jejunum and ileum. Duodenum is C-shaped, receives the bile duct from liver, pancreatic duct from pancreas. Bile duct from the liver, pancreatic duct from the pancreas. Jejunum is the middle part of the small intestine. It is a short region. Jejunum is a short region. It secretes small intestinal juice. Is intestinal juice which contain enzymes like sucrose, maltase, lactase and lipase. These enzymes help the food to digest. Ileum form the lower part of the small intestine and open into large intestine. Ileum is the lower part of the small intestine. Ileum is the longest part of the small intestine. It contains minute finger-like projection like this. The small intestine wall, many villi are present. It is 1 millimeter length. This length is 1 millimeter length. Absorption of food takes place. They are approximately 4 million in number. Internally, each villus contains fine food capillaries and lactal tubes. Small intestine serves both for digestion and absorption. Digestion with the help of enzymes and absorption with the help of villi. It receives the bile from the liver and pancreatic juice from the pancreas in the duodenum. The intestinal glands secrete intestinal juices. William Beaumont was the surgeon who was known as the father of gastric physiology. Based on his observation, he concluded that the stomach's strong hydrochloric acid played key role in digestion. In digestion, hydrochloric acid is very important part found by William Beaumont. Next part, liver. Liver is the largest digestive gland of the body, which is reddish brown in color. It divided into two main lobes, right and left lobe. This is the liver. Two lobe. This is right and left lobe. A right lobe is larger than the left lobe. Right lobe is larger than the left lobe. Here gallbladder is present. This green color gallbladder. The liver is secreted juice. That juice is bile. That bile juice is stored in the liver temporarily. The right lobe is larger than the left lobe. On the under surface of liver, gallbladder is present. The liver cells secrete bile, which is temporarily stored in the gallbladder. Bile is released small intestine when food enter into it. When the food is reached to the small intestine, that time the bile juice is released in the small intestine. Till that the bile juice is stored in the gallbladder. Sodium glycolate and sodium glycolate. and bile pigment, bilirubin and biliverdin. And bile salts help the digestion of fat, bringing about the emulsification. Emulsification means convert the large droplets into small one. Functions of liver. Control blood sugar and amino acids. Control the blood sugar level. Synthesize fetal blood cells, red blood cells. And produces fibrinogen and prothrombin used for clotting of blood. Blood clotting produce the prothrombin. Destroy the red blood cell. Aged red blood cells are destroyed in the liver cell. Liver. Stored iron, copper, vitamin and A and D. Produces heparin. Heparin is an anticoagulant hormone. It's produced by the liver. The blood always in a liquid streaming in the blood vessels. It helps by the heparin. Excretes toxic and metallic poisons. Detoxify means whenever we take some drugs or alcohol, they detoxify by the liver. So the more drug or more alcohol will damage the liver, will extend the limit. That time damage the liver. Excrete toxic waste will excrete from the body with the help of liver. Next part is pancreas. Pancreas is a lobed leaf-shaped gland situated between the stomach and duodenum. This is the pancreas, leaf-like structure. This is the duodenum. In between the duodenum, the pancreas is situated. Pancreas is a dual gland. Why means it secretes exocrine and endocrine. Both exocrine and endocrine are secreted by the pancreas. So pancreas is called as dual gland. Pancreas act both an exocrine and endocrine. The exocrine part is pancreatic gland secrete pancreatic juice, which consists 3 enzymes: lipase, trypsin and amylase, which act on fat, protein and starch respectively. These enzymes act on whenever take food fat rich. That fat and protein is digested by these enzymes. The gland's upper surface bear the islets of Langerhans, which have endocrine cells. Secrete hormone in which alpha cells secrete glucagon, beta cells secrete insulin. The glucagon, whenever we are starving, restreaming the glucose in the blood. Beta cells, whenever we take more sugar, convert into glycogen and stored in the liver and muscles. Next, intestinal glands secrete intestinal juice called succus intricus, which contain enzymes like maltase, lactase, sucrase and lipase, which act as alkaline medium. From the duodenum, the food is slowly moved from the ileum, where the digested food get absorbed. In the small intestine, ileum is the lowest part. It absorbs the digested food. Remaining undigested food sent to the large intestine. First, what is absorption of food? Absorption is the process by which nutrients obtained after digestion are absorbed by villi and circulated through the body by the blood and lymph and supplied to all body cell according to the requirement. According the requirement of the cells or tissues, the absorbed food is supplied. Next, assimilation. Assimilation means incorporation of absorbed food material. The food is absorbed by the villi, that is, the absorbed food is supplied to the tissue. The tissues cells are their internal homogeneous component. The material is merged with the cell. That the final product of fat digestion, fatty acids and glycerol are again converted into fat, and excess fat are stored in the adipose tissue. The excess sugar and converted complex polysaccharide glycogen in the liver. The amino acids are utilized to synthesize different proteins required for the body. The next, undigested food remaining sent to the large intestine. Unabsorbed and undigested food passed into the large intestine. It extended from the ileum to the anus. It is about 1.5 meter in length. It has three parts: cecum, colon and rectum. The cecum is the small blind pouch structure situated in the junction of the small intestine, large intestine, small intestine and large intestine from the blind end finger. Why it is called as blind end finger? It is not working, functionless part. It is called as vestigial organ in human. Vestigial organs means that organ is present but is not function. That is called vestigial organ. The colon is much broader than the ileum. Compared to ileum, the colon is broader. It passes up the abdomen on the right ascending column. Ascending means right from left to right, that is crosses to the left just below the stomach, transverse colon and down on the left side, descending column, transverse column, ascending column, transverse column, descending column. The rectum is the largest part which open into the anus. It gets closed by a ring of muscles called anal sphincter, which open when the passing stool. Stool means excretory undigested waste food. Undigested or unassimilated portion of the ingested means swallowed food. That material thrown out from the body, the anal aperture, fecal matter, is known as ejection or defecation. Ejection or defecation. Now let's see what are the enzymes are secreted by the digestive gland and nutrient. What are the nutrients are present there? Then product of digestion. After digestion, what are the changes are there? Salivary glands, tlie. A starch is digested into maltase. Gastric gland, pepsin is enzyme. Pepsin is digested protein into peptones. Gastric gland, renin. Infants means newborn baby. Milk protein or casinogen is converted into curdless milk to produce casein or protein. Pancreas. Pancreatic amylase, starch into maltase. Trypsin, protein and peptones into peptides and amino acids. Pancreatic another chymotrypsin, protein, proteins, peptones, polypeptides and in the dipeptides. Pancreatic lipids, emulsified means large particles, fatty lost into small particles, fatty acids and glycerol. Intestinal gland, maltase, maltose, glucose and glucose. Lactase, lactose, glucose and galactose. Sucrose, sucrose, glucose and fructose. Lipase, fatty acid and glycerol. Now let's see process of digestion. Already we saw this a recall. First we take the food ingestion means the reach the food into the mouth. From there start digestion. The digestion of carbohydrate begins in the buccal cavity. Then reach to the pharynx. Food passed from the buccal cavity to the pharynx. From the pharynx, the movement of food from the pharynx to esophagus and to the stomach. Esophagus and to the stomach. Here in the stomach, digestion process is continuous. From small intestine, after 3 to 4 hours, the food is reached to the small intestine. Digestion of carbohydrate, fat, protein are completed. Small substances are absorbed in the small intestine by the villi. Water and minerals are absorbed, sent to the blood. From here, undigested and absorbed food to reach to the large intestine. Here, water and minerals are absorbed again. Remaining waste product materials are sent to the anus. Here, that is called as fecal matter and sent through the anus. That is waste product. Thank you, children. Next video we'll see the next topic. Thank you once again.